In today's Masterboard Monday project, I'm going to create this masterboard using watercolors and lots of circles. Hi, I'm Christine, the artist behind Arlissa Designs, and it's Masterboard Monday. I'm happy you're here. Welcome. Okay, today I'm going to do a little bit different masterboard. I'm using my watercolors. This is just a cheap little Amazon palette that I got, and I love it. I'll put it in the description, the link. And I'm feeling like doing circles today, and I'm going to spray my paper because I like when the colors spread out and blend, but I'm going to try and go in a circle pattern. And back to the blues. I'm so happy. I've been doing so many Valentine's things, and I'm not a huge fan of pink. I love magenta, but pink's not my favorite color, so I'm really, really happy to get back to these blues. And while I've played with watercolors a lot over the years, I never really got serious about it, so I'm fairly new to watercolors too, if you want to go by experience. I don't have a lot of experience, but sometimes that's the funnest time, is when you really kind of don't know what you're doing and you're just playing around to see what happens. I'm going to try and be quick today. Oh, I guess we're going right there. Try and be a little quick today because the house there's no school today. Skylar's very cranky. She's aggravating Alyssa. So Alyssa's not happy. I thought, let me wait until Grandpa Bob goes to work to make my video today. And the second he left, the meltdown started happening. She's quite tired today. And I feel bad. She's a little bit bored. But you know what that does to working adults when there's no school and you're trying to get things done. So we don't get early videos out on those days. I'm going to try and move quicker. I can hear them yelling at each other. It's the end of the world. She wants to play on her scooter, or her ATV. Carson had a really good time. Thursday. He came from school because he wasn't feeling well, and he's been wanting to come do a video with me. He likes watching all my videos. He said in the video on Thursday that he watches me every day. That's kind of cool. I'm afraid he's going to go to school every day and want to be sick so he can come over to do YouTube videos now. Maybe he'll start his own channel one day. That would be fun. So I'm just going to go in and make all of these touch so I filled the entire page. Let me get all the circles in there. This is so fun. Circles are fun. I like breaking it up into squares and rectangles too, but ooh, I see a blue that I don't think I've used yet. Oh yeah, I have been using this. Okay. So some of these lines you see, they're spreading out really thin because there's a lot of water. And some of them, once the page starts drying up, you get a little bit more color. I like both. And it's okay if they start blending together. And that's it. I'm gonna finish this part and then I'm gonna let it dry. And then I'm gonna come in with my pens, and because I haven't done that in a while, and I love taking watercolor, letting it dry, and then just taking my markers out and um, doing some fun lines, just kind of tracing what's there. And I'm not sure where that will take us today. Let's see. Let's do a big. I may do some tissue paper. I already started this once today. And I have to say, I usually carry on when it's not doing what I want it to do. But I've already made a hot mess today and decided I'll have to revisit that one another day. And I saved the video that I recorded already, so I might come back and show you what it turns out looking like in another video. But there are times where the project kind of gets out of control and it's not doing what I want it to. It's very, very rare that I start over and don't continue and add layers and layers and layers, but today is one of those days where I'm just not feeling, oh, that's so pretty. I touched the line on the circle. I don't want to lift it up because then it's gonna run, but I love when you touch the next circle over and it kind of starts to blend. Watercolor's so cool. I really want a little more coverage on this page. Skylar is very unhappy today. I don't know if you can hear her, but and normally I'd turn it off while she's having a meltdown, but this has pretty much been all day. Not meltdown mode, but just on all day. And it's getting late, and I don't want to miss putting my video out, so I'm sure that a lot of you have either had children or you have grandchildren now, and you've been there and done that. It's happening right now in real time. Poor little Skylar. I think I lost my camera for a minute, but I just gave it a little bit of a spray. And now I'm just kind of going back in and just adding some darker color where it kind of washed out a little bit. And kind of making my lines a little bit neater. Especially these blues. Whoops. This handle of this brush is really long. So I keep hitting the camera. Oh, that looks like an eye. I think I'll leave the greens kind of washed out a little bit. All right, now I'm going to let this dry. I may help it a bit with a hair dryer, but you don't need to watch that. So I will go dry this and I will come right back. Okay, now it's all dried. In my original plan, I wanted to do white circles, but I don't think on this paper it's going to show up that well, not great. So I'm going to come in with my black Posca and just do some outlines of some of the circles. Maybe just all the blue ones so it's not too much. I kind of like the way the pen skipped. I'm going to leave that. And now I messed that up, so I'm going to make it look intentional. There's another pen skip. That's kind of cool. There's so many different things that you can do. You can use colored markers. And go in and just make all kinds of marks. And in the end, I'm probably going to take this and slice it up. So even though this looks kind of very kind of sketchy and messy, once I cut it all up and you're just seeing pieces, it's really cool. Oh, I'm a little still wet over there. All right. I like these skips, so I'm thinking maybe in the green it's a good spot to just put some dots instead of outlining the green. Maybe just do some sections, because I'm going to introduce some bigger dots here soon. And I don't need to do the whole circle. Let's do a circle here though. And that's better. That makes a pretty good dot line. I like that. That's fun. My original plan was to do a background, and I had somebody ask me if I was going to do some more mermaids for my booth, which I might do, but I'm not sure if this is the background to do it on. Maybe. Okay, so every circle has some dots, I think. And now I think I'm going to put some tissue paper, and I'm going to do big tissue paper. And again, if you are new here, I always have my towel and my little sprayer, and off camera I'm just misting my tissue paper, and then I'm going to get my gesso, and I missed the tissue. Oh, that's gesso. I don't want gesso. No, we want Mod Podge. This is matte Mod Podge, and I like to thin it out with a little bit of water so it's a little thinner and easier to work with. Oh no, I didn't let this, oh no, I didn't let it dry. I didn't let it dry long enough. Hold on. I'm gonna just do this. And look at that. It's definitely gonna be where, let me go dry this off a little bit so the marker doesn't smear like that. But we're gonna cover that up, it's okay. Okay, that should be dry. So you just wanna make sure, the Posca pen usually doesn't smear like that, but I did not give it long enough to dry. But if that happens, see, that's why we do this. If that happens, you just dry it up, and that will be the first place that I put my tissue paper. And you're still going to see a little of it, but that's okay. And later down the line, if it's really bothering me and it's noticeable, that's where I'll glue something else, and we'll cover it up. That's what we'll do. It's harder to work with these larger pieces of tissue paper. So if you're new to laying tissue paper down, you might want to start with smaller pieces. Although I've said it before, and I probably always will, I like these little wrinkles that you get. I mean, I try not to get too many of them, but they're kind of cool, especially if I'm going to go over this later with gesso, which I never know if I'm going to or not. These are not usually although sometimes I do have ideas and I have an idea of the way I want them to go. It never does. Okay, so you can still see a little bit, but we'll fix it later. I also have some of this, which, you know what, I think I can put a little of this there, because this tissue paper I got at Walmart, the silver dots here, and it doesn't show through, like, I mean, it doesn't show the layers underneath as well as the one with the black polka dots. The one with the black polka dots I got from Amazon, and I will put that link in the description, because if you get one tissue paper from Amazon today, that's the one. It is so cool. It really looks nice in the background, and these silver dots, they don't show up when you I mean, they don't stay shiny when you put the Mod Podge over it, but as it dries, you'll see a little bit more of the shine come back. However, it's a little bit matted. It's almost like brush metal instead of a shiny chrome metal. So if you want to get that shine back, you can take a chrome pen and go over it. You know, sometimes I've gone back over after you seal the project. The only thing with the chrome pens, they're fine and they'll stay shiny after it's all dried and on top of a sealed coating. But if it's going to be something that's going to be handled a lot, it can rub off. So you either want to seal it and then go back in and just kind of use the chrome pen if you really want that shininess, or you just have to be happy with it a little bit matte. I'm not going to try and separate them. I'm just going to rip that off. No struggles today. So most of the time, I don't know why I didn't do this today. You can tape your piece down. I don't like to really glue it, tape it down all the time, because I like for the paint to go all the way to the edge, because I slice this up and use it for other projects. So I don't want to lose that. It's not like I'm gonna display it in one piece. And in that case, I do like the taped off edge and that clean border, but these are mainly for when I do I'll cut this into, I think I get 4 5x7s out of this, depending on how I cut it. Sometimes I get 3 because there's a section I don't want to use. And in that case, I'll take the leftover pieces and make smaller things like ephemera for my journal, or bookmarks, gift tags. So many things you can do. I want more black dots, and I need to go find them. Okay, I think this should be enough to finish our project. Let's put some dots over here. Now this is still somewhat wet, so when I go over tissue paper that's still drying, you got to be very gentle or you're going to pull it up. And if it happens, okay, try not to let that happen. All right, somehow I've lost my glasses and I cannot see what I'm doing. And you just want to work from the center out towards the edges. And you can gently pull it up if you've got too many wrinkles, but I'm happy with the wrinkles. Okay. I love these black polka dots. I could put a little more writing in here. Whoa. And I need to put some more silver ones. I'm not a fan of the silvers, but it did kind of cover up the mistake there. So, because I don't love them, I'll just put a few on the other side so that when I cut this up, they all look the same. So I try when I do the 5x7s and then I put them in matte, I try and do all the same, like a series. So once I do something on one side of the board, even if I don't love it, I'll go back and make sure it's even throughout the board. So that way when I cut them up, if I get 3 or 4 pieces, they all have the same little things that you find in them in the background. And then I'll go back and do it again without the part I didn't like. So yeah, I really don't want any more of this. I'll put a small piece in the middle. So maybe when I cut it, because this is probably where the 4 pieces are going to meet, maybe I'll have a few little silver dots on the edges. Yeah, so if I cut them like this, so maybe we need a little bit more over here. Okay, I think I'm going to let that dry. Do I have, oh no, we have to finish using this black. Little more black. Little more. And even though I already put tissue down here, we're going to put it right on top. And you can see the line there from the silver tissue. So I'm going to lay this right on top of this to kind of camouflage that and make it all those lines go away. I got one more piece. Let's put that, I think we need some up here, somewhere around here. Just overlap that there. All right, I like that. I don't mind these over here, but for whatever reason, I think I put too many layers of tissue trying to cover that up. But we were pretty successful in covering that up. And yeah, I think that's good. I need something on this corner, so we'll put some of this on the corner. And probably it's going to be under the mat while I like everything to go to the edge is not always, you're not always able to see it because of the mat. So, okay, I'm going to let this dry and see if I'm going to just go ahead and cut it up, or am I going to do another layer? Okay, it's almost dry, and I could leave it this way. That looks kind of cool, but against my better judgment, because it's getting very, very late in the day, and I wanted to finish this and get it uploaded in a reasonable time. Let's try the white one. Oh, I like the white. I'm going to take it a step further because I have an idea of what I want to put on here. Do I want to do this? I'm doing it. And I don't want all of the color. I want to knock it back a little bit. And I don't want to do what I usually do and take it all out. And I'm telling you now, and I'm probably not going to listen to my own self, that I'm just going to do a couple of few little spots here. So I can come back in and do some stencils on top. In a few little areas, because I think I do want to put faces. I don't like that little spot. I'm just going to go in and put some pretty little happy trees. Just put some little spots of white in here to knock back some of that color while letting some of it show through. Let's go in that spot. Now we've totally covered up that mistake. You cannot see it at all now, and that makes me happy because it was bugging me, and that is part of my motivation in doing this. And already I'm getting a little heavy-handed. But I just can't stop myself. This is half the battle, is going in and stopping. But I like to cover up some of these lines from the tissue paper. That way they're less noticeable. And then I'm just gonna brush over some of those wrinkles with a dry brush, because then you can see some of that texture from the wrinkles of the tissue paper that I laid down. It's hard to see in the camera, I know, but you'll have to try it for yourself so you can see. And I don't like that word there either. So I'm going to let some of the letters show through, but I mean, you're going to see them all, but there. Okay, let it dry. Be right back. Okay, now normally I would go in with my pen and just draw all over it, but since I did the circles, I'm not going to do that. And I got a little brushed, what is this called? It is called brushed pale silver. I'm going to go in and add another layer. And because you can't really see that well, I got a little bit of black out, and I'm going to mix that in. I'm going to put small little spots of this throughout. like it, and I'm gonna stop. That's cool. I just want to make sure I have a little bit of this on every piece that I might cut out. So even though I'm just doing a little, I'm just putting a few little extra little diamond shapes wherever I might cut out. And just like a little shadow. Not much. Just on these areas where I did the okay, I did it over. Okay, I got a little crazy. No, don't do more. Just don't do more. Okay. That's it. I'm done. That looks kind of cool. Now, I know that some of you probably said, no, don't mess up the circles. But I know that this is going to be, I'm just spraying off my stencil brush there. I know that this is going to be broken up into little pieces. So I wanted, and then something's going to be glued on top. But see how cool that is? That those, well, now it's hard to see because of the light. But this is cool now because I've got more black and white in there and that gray and silver. And if I do a face over this, you won't see anything, but you'll see these patterns showing through and you'll see the colors. So that might be a little much, but that's kind of cool. And that's kind of cool. And that's a little busy. But let me see if I can adjust this light where it's not glaring. So you can see a little bit better. There. So that would be too busy. But that might be kind of cool. And this might be kind of cool. I like that. So there you go. And if you want to see what I do with this, I think you will have to come back and see what happens on another video. But I think I will cut the 5x7s now so you can see. So I'm just taking my mat and picking, I'm only going to get 3 out of this. I was using larger, so see I took this space. I was going to take this space, but I like this better. I've got this space, and then these little areas in between will become something else. Okay, here's what I ended up with. Let me zoom out a little bit. So I ended up with 3 5x7s. And I will use these to create something. Like I said, probably 5x7s for my store. And I do usually make a video of that. So if you want to see what these turn into later, you gotta like and subscribe. I think that's going to be cool. I need to do some more palm trees too. So sometimes I'll come back and I'll do some pen work and outline some things, but the whole point of masterboards is just to get these things done, and so that you have them on hand when sometimes I'm sketching and I think, oh, that would be cool over an abstract background. And you see, these aren't perfectly 5x7. I drew a little square or rectangle around the area I wanted. I'll go back and erase the lines and figure out what I'm going to put on top of these. I could do collage. I was thinking about doing some magazine collages to go in the booth or on my website. These things will be for sale on my website eventually. And where are they? Okay, so I always need cards for ACTs. So now I've got to go back and measure these again because I think one of them is not right. I like my ACTs and my ACEOs to be exactly the same size, like a deck of cards. It's getting late. I'm getting tired. But now I have these on hand and ready to go. So if I need to make some ACTs to swap, they're there. Because these masterboards, sometimes with all the layers that you put on, need quite a lot of time to dry. And then I have a bunch of these little scraps left over I can throw in my scrap drawer and grab for journal pages or little journaling cards, belly bands. So I hope you enjoyed today's masterboard, and I'll see you tomorrow for Tuesday tips. And again on Thursday, maybe I'll finish this project. Thanks for watching.